Hi everyone! Welcome to another day of online art classes. I hope this video finds you all healthy and well, safe and sound. And I'm going to dive right in. Today we're going to do a lesson on shapes. And I want to teach you about the two different types and variations of shapes that exist that make up our whole world. And we're going to create a really fun drawing and coloring lesson based upon that. So the two shapes that I want to talk to you about are geometric shapes and organic shapes. These are the two types of shape that you can find all over the world. And the first shape we're going to talk about are the geometric shapes. These are shapes that you'll learn about in your math class. These are shapes that have names. For example, a circle, a square, a triangle, a pentagon, a parallelogram. These are all shapes that are considered geometric shapes, shapes with names. And you'll find them in the real world too. For example, my table is a rectangle, this paper is a rectangle, these pins down here are circles. These are geometric shapes. The second type of shape to compare are called free-form shapes. And I like to think about it, to remember it, to say free-form shapes. And these are shapes that don't particularly have names and are inspired by the shapes we see in nature. They can be made up shapes that we make, that when you make them, you can't find a name for them because they're organic or free form. Okay, so I went around my apartment to find examples of geometric and organic shapes for you. So I'm going to start with this shell I found. So this is something that you find on the beach. It comes in lots of different shapes. This is just one shell. I have a lot other shells that are different shapes, the ones that are rounded like that. Do you think these are geometric or organic shapes? If you thought organic, you were right. Next, we have this frame. This frame I have is a rectangle. Don't look at what's inside. Just this. This is a rectangle. Okay? So knowing this shape, do you think it's geometric or organic? If you thought geometric, you were right because it has a name and we know it. We have a name for it. However, if you look inside my frame, you have pictures of the palm trees or the movements of these hills or even the camels. Do you think these shapes are considered geometric or organic? If you said organic, then you're right. Okay? My pine cone here, what do you think it is? You find it out in nature. Doesn't have a specific name. The object is called a pine cone, but if I were to draw the shape, it wouldn't necessarily have a name. So it's an organic shape. This seed thing that my friend gave me, the shape of it is a square. So what do you think it's called? The shape of it is a square. So is it geometric or organic? It's geometric. However, the shapes inside of it, these leaves, these stars, those are organic shapes, and the circle are geometric shapes because, again, the name. The last example I want to show you is this glass plate I made. Inside, the big shapes are perfect rectangles, so they're considered geometric. And if you look really closely, you see these little speckles. These are like kind of crazy free-form shapes that don't have names, but are still very pretty, and they're called organic. Okay, so that's just a little introduction. It'd be so fun if you could like walk around your house and look at things around your house and wonder, is this a geometric shape or is this an organic shape, right? Like I'm just even looking here, this book here, geometric versus even the shape of the marker cap that I have would be considered organic because it doesn't have a specific name and it's like more freeform. Okay? So with that in mind, we are going to begin. I'm going to introduce our lesson, and we're going to be just drawing geometric and organic shapes that cross over with each other. And then we get to color it in. So it's like we're making our own coloring book again, and of course, you get to pick your own shapes. As always, you get to pick your own colors. I'm just going to provide the guideline, okay? So to start, we're going to pick, I'm going to use a black marker to outline my initial shapes, just like I'm creating a coloring book. And I'm going to zoom in here so you don't have to look at me. You can really look at the papers. Okay. So the idea of this lesson is to practice and learn the differences between organic and geometric shapes. So here you can see I did a rectangle, which is geometric, and then I made up a shape, which would be organic. And I'm just going to basically create a bunch of shapes that are overlapping or touching each other to fill the page. And you can do that however you want. You can see here they link together into like a kind of chain almost. You don't have to do that. You can spread yours out. You can do however you'd like it. But just to keep things orderly, I'm going to do the same idea, but I'm going to use different shapes. So I'm going to think to myself, what's a geometric shape? What's a shape that has a name? Maybe I'll do a triangle. Okay? And the next step is doing another shape, and just keep going, overlapping your different shapes until you fill the paper. So I'm going to make up an organic shape. Now I'm going to do a wavy line, and I'm going to do another wavy line and close it out. Whoa, kind of cool organic shape. Now notice, I let my shape go over my triangle. I did that on purpose because I want to be able to color in all these overlapping spaces, just so that I can work with even more shapes and make it more fun and exciting. Otherwise, I would just be coloring a bunch of separate shapes. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Maybe I'll do a rectangle, and maybe I'll do another organic shape. Kind of make it interesting. Whoa, just completely made that up, but it's fun. I'm going to do a circle and another circle. And then, so I've got geometric, organic, geometric, organic. Let's do, it's like kind of a cool shape there. And then maybe I'll link it up over here by making a couple more shapes, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, kind of like a curved rectangle, but I think that would be considered organic because it doesn't really have a name. I like the heart, so I'm going to do a heart. Making up organic shapes here. I'll do a geometric one. I'll make a diamond, or a parallelogram, or a rhombus. I think it's considered a rhombus. And I'm going to try to connect it with just kind of exploring. And close it out with a square. Cool, so I've made this kind of fun outline of different shapes that are touching each other. They're going over each other. I like that my page is pretty filled up. And I like that I've used a variety of organic and geometric shapes. Let's see, here I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shapes. And here I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 shapes. So around between, I guess, 10 to 15 shapes could do the trick. And you'll notice, actually, amazingly, when you overlap your shapes, more shapes happen. So this, because I overlap my diamond or my rhombus to my organic shape, a triangle appeared. And over here, the heart overlapping with this organic shape or this freeform shape, another freeform shape, okay? So actually, if I were to count the little shapes and the big shapes, I'd definitely have more than 14. Our next step is to just approach this like a really fun coloring book. I'm going to use my mixture of markers and of oil pastels as usual. And I'm just going to have a lot of fun coloring this in. And I'm going to start playing my music again just to set the mood. Sometimes I like to listen to music for my art, and you can too. So I'm going to just enjoy my time, and I'll talk aloud my steps. But really the trick here, the only thing you want to keep a note of, friends, is don't use the same color inside the same shape. So I'll show you. So I'm not going to color my whole triangle blue. I'm only coloring up to the lines where it ends. So I'm just coloring this space blue. And then these two spaces will be colored something different. Got it?
Every night, dream any dream you wanted to dream. But now let's have a surprise.
That's how these parts and colors will pop. Which, do you know me? I love it when colors pop and things pop in art. Okay? Just thinking about what color I think will look pretty next to each other. And purple and yellow are actually complementary colors, so They're opposites on the color chart, and that means that they'll really pop out with each other if you put them next to each other. So what we're doing here is we're thinking about a color scheme with our art, okay? We're thinking about what colors am I going to use throughout my art, and that's a color scheme. And I'll do another lesson in the future that talks more about color schemes. It's a really helpful way in art to organize our work and to not keep it from going all over the place. So here, I did a lot of colors here, but I tried to at least repeat every color twice. So brown happened twice, light green twice, red twice, purple twice, okay? But yeah, I'm really going to just kind of go with the flow here with this drawing today. And sorry if the coloring doesn't look as good as here. It's because my wall is kind of bumpy, so it doesn't let me color in as much. But I hope that at home you're working really hard and joyfully to color in your shapes as well as possible. I'm going to go with a blue marker. I'm going to do it here too. So we have quite a few different lessons on the channel. If you want to learn about patterns, you can check out the Romero Brito video. This is a lesson on shapes and just enjoying coloring in all the awesome shapes we put down on our paper. And you know, I noticed up here I used my dark blue and I haven't used it since, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Just, again, the idea of a color scheme. I want to kind of repeat some of the colors I'm using. Of course, if you want to do all rainbow, do it. If you want to use, you know, only 3 different colors that you keep repeating, do it. Whatever you feel. I think I'm going to pick up my green. Just enjoy getting all these little white spaces on my shape. Cool. I'm planning ahead. You know, I'm thinking that I think I might want to use green again, so I'm just going to go ahead and color in one of these shapes my green. So this is really about you being an artist, looking at your paper, looking at your colors, and thinking, what colors do I like? What colors fit my mood? What colors fit my vision for this artwork? Yeah, like this is really about letting your voice come out through your choices in color or your choices in shape, and where you put the shapes down on your paper as well. I'm gonna grab my red. I notice I'm missing my reds. Maybe I'll just do all the little spaces with red here. I'm gonna look, and I keep looking back, so I'm looking here where I am, and I'm looking back where I was, and I'm kind of like, what other, and before I use every single color and get overwhelmed, what other colors can I repeat? So I have my really pretty light blue that I didn't use that much. I'm gonna use it. And you know, I did this before here. This diamond was really big, so I actually divided it in half. I'm going to do that here. I'm going to divide my shape in half. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do this however you want. If you want to fill this out with patterns instead or a bunch of dots, you can do that. I'm going to divide it in half because I want to use more colors. And I'm already about to fill up all my shapes, so I'm basically going to make another shape by dividing my shape here in half. Balance, visual balance. There's a big piece of purple here, so I might just go ahead and do that here and balance it out. Just making choices, my own personal choices, does not have to be the same choices you make, so long as you are trying your best. And I'm feeling like there's a big piece of yellow here. I might want some yellow here too. So just thinking about balance going this way, I'm going to draw a line and divide this in half. Color this in yellow. Maybe I'll do... So for this shape, I decided here, just on the last minute, to color it in 3 different colors. And I'm using my mixture. I like how my mixture of marker and charcoal look different. There's kind of a grainy look and then a smoother look. I'm happy with that. I like that there's different textures going on. Oops, and so this happens in art sometimes as we make mistakes. I got a little piece of blue out of my black line, but I always say this, don't get upset over your little mistakes. You're human and mistakes happen. It's totally not a big deal. I barely notice it, so in fact I'm not even going to try to fix it. I'm going to accept it. Not a big deal. And I've got one more color to do. I'm trying to see what do I want here. So I'm just kind of deciding to break up my big shape into smaller shapes to color in. Cool. So that's more or less it. Every artist, I always talk about, signs their work. So I'm going to sign my work. I'm going to, maybe now that I'm looking, I might add another shape somewhere here or somewhere there. It's all about kind of looking at your art and wondering, did I finish? Did I not? Do I feel like there should be more? Right? So I'm kind of feeling like something could come out of these parts. And that's perfectly fine. I thought that I was going to finish. And then at the last second, I'm kind of thinking, kind of might look cool to add an extra shape to fill up these parts of the paper that I missed. I'm literally going to end the video and decided to just throw these in, right? So don't ever be afraid to keep modifying your artwork if you feel like it's just not doing it for you. It's just not there yet, you know? Awesome. So I'm going to just go ahead and pause this. So yeah, this is our final artwork. This is my demo. As you can see, when you're working with all the amazing shapes that are out there in the world, your artwork can look any way, especially when you're dealing with all the different colors in the world. Your artwork can also come out anyway. So hope you enjoyed it. Keep practicing and look around your house for different organic and geometric shapes, and stay safe and have fun. Bye.